Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another Walking Dead Dead City video. So, it's been a while since I talked about Dead City, but I do want to talk about this show because Jeffrey Dean Morgan has been talking a lot about season 3 and has really been hyping up the season quite a bit. And I do want to say, I think there's actually a lot of reasons to be excited about season 3. So, I do want to get into that and talk about, I guess, season 3 just in general and everything that we know about it. And also, I guess, the expectations for the season. So, before we go any further, make sure to be a subscriber if you do want to get all of my Walking Dead content like this. Now, I will be posting my Welcome to Derry episode 4 review tomorrow. I was going to do my episode 1, 2, and 3 review, but I'll just combine all of it in episode 4. I'm really excited about this season. Honestly, I watched the first episode. It was like, okay, like it was kind of, I guess what I expected the show to be like. But after episode 2, I was really excited. And episode 3, honestly, a lot of the connections to everything else with Stephen King and everything like that with The Shining and, other movies, I do want to get into that and honestly talk a lot about that and do a lot of videos on that. So I'll wait until episode 4 actually releases. And then, anything that we learn from there, I'll do a lot of videos on throughout the week because I think that honestly, this show, because we are getting a season 2 and 3, it seems like, I think that it's honestly going to be very, very successful. So, but yeah, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, like I was saying, has been talking about season 3 just kind of in general. Like a lot of people have been asking about just season 3 in general and like, what do you think about like the season so far, the characters, and what can we expect to see in season 3, I guess, and there's been a lot of really interesting things that he's been saying. And honestly, he's really been hyping it up quite a bit. And I know that the actors do that just kind of in general, but he does make a point here when he's like, I don't really, hype up the season during filming. Usually it's like, when we're doing like press and stuff like that, basically. But the fact that I'm doing that right now, I'll just kind of leave it at that. And the season feels special. And there's been a lot of talk about that. Like, that's the one thing that I will say about this season that I'm really excited about is that this season apparently is going to be a very special season, and there will be things to really look forward to, like with the characters, and a lot of things that we thought of the characters are just going to be completely just like different. And, I do think that when you're looking at what Jeffrey Morgan was saying here and just like everything he's been saying in general, that I do think we can expect season 3 to be a really, well, I will say definitely different from season 1 and 2. And the reason why is because they changed showrunners and they've been seeing a lot of the, I guess, bad reviews or whatever of the show so far. So that's the one thing that I will say about this season is that I think there's a lot to look forward to, especially when you're looking at the characters and just the directions that they're able to go in and like which characters could die and like where the story is going to go overall for everyone because of the showrunner. Like Seth Hoffman being the showrunner, I think really is like when you're looking at all the spinoffs so far, like ignoring the ones who live because it was one season. And I do think obviously if Rick and Michonne return, well, not if, but like when they do, I think that Gimple is likely going to be the showrunner. I think that he's just been sort of the person to do a lot of the bigger projects. And so, based off of the ones who live, I think that he did a really great job with that show. Like to me, the issue is more the writing and everything, which is, there's a lot of other things there, like the story, this and that, but I think it was the episode counts. I don't have to get into all that, but I think for Dead City, if you're looking at like all the spinoffs, it's the one spinoff where AMC was like, we need to change the showrunner, right? Again, I don't know the real reason for changing the showrunner and getting Seth Hoffman to come here. And, I just think that maybe it was creative differences. Obviously, I don't know. I'm assuming, but there's been nothing that has, come out from anyone really about, why they actually changed showrunners. So I personally think that it has to do with creative differences. Like, if you're looking at, what Eli Journe was doing for the story of Dead City, he made everything feel very small scale and about the characters, which I think worked for the most part, but it does feel so disconnected from The Walking Dead. And I've always kind of said that even before season 1 of Dead City came out, like this show should feel the most like The Walking Dead because the characters are literally in like the same area, right? Like you kind of have access to having very similar, I guess, surroundings or like other characters from The Walking Dead to show up here. And like you can do so much with Dead City. Like if people miss The Walking Dead, you can do a lot of that story here in Dead City. But, I get it from like a creative, standpoint or point of view there that you really want to do something very different, right? Like you don't want to do season 12 of The Walking Dead. I know a lot of people want that, but I get it if you're doing something fresh and starting something new that you do want it to feel different. And I think Dead City did feel very different in the beginning. Obviously, it did change somewhat throughout. And I think a lot of the small scale, I guess, elements of this story, I think definitely hurt the show overall. And I think that's why AMC was like, honestly, like when you're looking at the interest from a lot of people in this show, what is the difference between this show and Daryl Dixon season 3? And I really think it is just as simple as the world isn't as, I guess, alive as it does feel in The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon, right? And I mean, season 2 had a lot of issues as well. I think AMC is starting to see sort of what everyone does like. And I think that's why the showrunner, being different here for season 3 is something to actually be very excited about. I know that a lot of people might not be that excited for season 3. And, it is kind of one of those things where, like, if you remember when the teaser or trailer or whatever that was came out for season 2, it was so exciting. It was so exciting because it actually really felt like it was going to be so different. Like, it felt like everything would be very, very, like, I guess bigger in scale in terms of what the story could be. But everything just felt like season 1 again. Like, honestly, when you're looking at season 2, it felt like season 1. And I think that was the issue with season 2. And so as much as I like what they did with the characters and stuff, I think going into season 3, you can do a lot of different things here. And I'm excited to see what he's sort of, talking about here. Like, he's really going into a lot of season 3. I saw something actually where Jeffrey Dean Morgan was talking with some people outside, I guess, during filming. He was like signing stuff and all that. And I think someone was like, oh, is season 3 going to be better than season 2? Like, how amazing is it going to be? And he kind of got upset by that. Like, he was kind of laughing a little bit, but you can tell it kind of bugged him because he's like, what? So that's saying that season 2 was like a bad season or something? I can't remember exactly what was said. Like, is season 3 going to be better? Is the next season going to be better or something like that? And yeah, you don't want to say that to Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Obviously, he's going to be proud of all the work that he did, right? And so, and it's not like season 2 is a bad season. Like, if you're looking at bad seasons of television shows, these shows are not bad in that sense. Like, definitely not at all. It's just, obviously a lot of people disagree with like story choices or like just expectations, obviously definitely can be affected with a lot of this here. So I will say, I think for season 3, I am really excited. I think that once we see the first, teaser or whatever it's going to be for this show, that I think that there will be a lot of excitement here for a lot of people, because I think that this show, there's a lot to be excited about, with Dead City. And I think that, well, at least I feel very confident that the change of showrunner is going to really help this show, because it does feel like that really is sort of the biggest issue here, to be honest, is that it was just the wrong showrunner. And this has happened a lot in The Walking Dead. Like, there's been times where the showrunner just wasn't the best, and then they changed the showrunner, and then it just fixed everything. Like, if you're looking at Scott Gimple in season 7 and 8, obviously he did a really great job in like season 4, 5, 6, but it got pretty bad by season 7 and 8. And then Angela Kang comes in, and there's not really a lot of other changes. It's mostly that she is there. She's taking over in terms of, running the show and everything. And then season 9, the quality changed so much, and the pacing for the story, just everything got so much better. And honestly, season 9 to me is one of the best seasons ever of The Walking Dead, and season 4 as well. But, I think that will be something that we will see here very early on. Like, pretty much the first episode is that the showrunner here, Seth Hoffman, is going to change a lot here. You never know. It could be a lot worse, right? Like, that's the one thing, is it could go the other way too and like be worse. But I don't see it really being worse, because I think that there's a lot of places that you can easily go. Like, if you're Seth Hoffman and you're the showrunner of, I guess a show that has been around for 2 seasons, and you want to make this season the best season yet, you're going to look at what a lot of people are saying. Like, what are they saying about this and that? And what can we change? What would actually work really well for the story? What didn't work? That's why I have a lot of excitement for season 3, because I do think that they're going to actually make the right changes here. Whereas I think if they had the old showrunner, honestly, I don't think there would be much changes for season 3. I think that it would probably be the very same thing as season 1 and 2. Because if you're looking at season 2, like the overall tone of the show, it feels so similar to season 1. Like, there's more episodes, and the story is a little bit, bigger in scale in some of the episodes, but like, it still has that same tone and feeling as season 1. So I honestly, I'm really excited for Seth Hoffman to be the showrunner here. Anyways, I'm gonna leave it here. So definitely post all your thoughts down below on what you want to see, I guess, from Dead City Season 3, what your expectations are, and also when do you think we're gonna see the first like teaser for this show? Because it's pretty quiet right now. I imagine that AMC is not going to be this quiet for that long. But like, what show are we going to see the first like footage from? Is it going to be Dead City Season 3 or The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon final season? That's what I'm really interested in. Also, when are they going to announce that Dead City Season 3 is going to be the last season? That's if it actually is the last season. Like, it really might not be. Like, there's a rumor right now that Season 4 is going to be filmed next year as well. So, you know, if that ends up being true and they are filming Season 4, like maybe that's why they're not necessarily, you know, ending the show after Season 3. I'm just curious as to how they're going to handle a lot of that going forward here and what the release schedule is going to be for a lot of this here. But yeah, I'm excited for Dead City Season 3 as much as, you know, I wasn't the biggest fan of Season 2. I really like Season 2 still. Like, I do like the season. It was a good season. It's just that the connections to the Walking Dead universe just weren't there really, right? So anyways, I'm leaving it here. Definitely post all your thoughts down below. Hope you all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.